The Himalayan is a motorcycle that we all looked up to, right? Royal Enfield's first serious ADV motorcycle. But when it was first launched, it had obvious serious issues. However, in its current form, the issues seem all but sorted. Today, things are about to get interesting because the story for today is more for the road than off it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to PowerDrift. Welcome to the story of the Royal Enfield Scram 411. The Scram 411 is an adaptation of the Himalayan, and usually scramblers are built that way. There are tweaks that are brought about to an existing motorcycle to make it more fun. But before I get to the changes, here's what's similar. The engine absolutely the same, which means the power and the torque figures will remain the same. The frame is going to be the same. No changes to the brake setup and no changes to the gearing as well. But here's what's different. The biggest difference that you see on the Scram 411 is going to be the downsizing of the front wheel. So 21 inch on the Himalayan, 19 inch. This does not get a 17 inch front option. The suspension units are going to be the same, but the internals have been revised completely. So the damping rate, the springs, all new. I spoke about the engine not having any changes, but what Royal Enfield has done is put in a new map which has recalibrated the engine to be a lot more efficient when you're riding in the city. The motorcycle feels a lot more refined now, but not just that, it also makes the throttle response a lot smoother. The handlebar that you see on the Scram 411 is new. It's not the accessory handlebar that you get as a part of the MIY package that you get with the Himalayan. The windshield is gone and the cluster has been reworked for a much neater display. So one big cluster on the front and the tripper continues to be on the right. Now the tripper is not going to be a standard accessory on any of the variants. You will have to buy that as a part of the MIY package. The seat again here is different, not just the way it's designed because this is now a single seat, but also the foam that's been used is different. The grab rail is different, and what all of this has done is brought down the motorcycle weight by about 5 kilos. One more important thing to note is that the downsizing of the front wheel has also caused the rake to become tighter, the wheelbase to become shorter, and the ground clearance to drop by 20 mm. But at 200 mm, the ground clearance is all but sufficient. How do all of these changes fare in the real world? Let's find out. Quite a few changes on the Scram 411. Now the most obvious question will be, hey, is there any difference, like a dramatic difference with that smaller front wheel? Yes, it is. Less mass at the front. What that has done is just made this a fun motorcycle to ride. It feels nimble to ride, easier to steer. And when you talk about the term that it's actually lost weight, it's actually lost weight here and it feels more fun than the Himalayan. Is it the funnest motorcycle out there? Probably not. But is it more fun than the Himalayan? Definitely yes. The second thing that I want to talk about is going to be the ergonomic triangle. Now it's not dramatically different than the Himalayan, which means it's still going to be comfortable, but the handlebars gotten lower, it's pulled towards the rider. The pegs continue to remain in the same position as the Himalayan. So in that sense, the ergonomic triangle again should be very, very comfortable for almost everyone who test rides and decides to buy it. The third thing that I want to talk about is the engine. And the reason I did not speak at length about this thing earlier is because power, torque, cubic capacity, absolutely the same. But what Royal Enfield have done is recalibrated the engine, put in a new map and also improved the throttle response. As most of you all know, the BS6 Royal Enfield Himalayan is the smoothest of the lot in this generation. And this feels a lot smoother than that, and I know it's because of the revised settings that have gone into the engine. Also, the newer Himalayans that are being dispatched to dealerships all across the country will have the same map that the Scram 411 uses. I also spoke of revised internals to the fork as well as the shock, and what that has done is made the ride quality slightly firm. And for me, this is where it should be because it's neither soft like the Himalayan nor too stiff like maybe some of the sportier KTMs. It's right there in the middle, because we did an equal amount of time out on the trails, rode quite a bit on the road, and it felt amazing everywhere. I mean, its ability to be like an all-rounder is pretty much there. And at the end of the day, Royal Enfield is calling this a multi-purpose versatile motorcycle, and at least in this aspect, it does the job really well. Last but not the least, this is more of an urban motorcycle and it's targeted towards the youth. So Royal Enfield has got a bunch of colors to it. I personally like the blue one, which is sort of their middle variant, and it looks very, very swank. Which one do you like? Drop in your comments. Let me know. Now, when you look at the resume of a scrambler, for me, the three keywords that stand out: one, fun; second, agile; third, lightweight. Now, that first two keywords, Royal Enfield's taken care of that, but the third, which is lightweight, is just 5 kilos less. And mind you, if you're someone who's going to buy the Scram 411 for whatever reason, for the way it looks, for the way it rides, for the way it feels, what you're going to do is add the main stand, which is a part of the MIY package, and hopefully secure the motorcycle by adding an engine guard or a leg guard. When you add those two things, it will become as heavy as the Himalayan. But for someone who's new to the world of motorcycling, please test ride and understand how heavy the motorcycle feels and then make a choice. The second thing that I want to address is quality of the motorcycle. If you see the overlay right now, you will see gaps on the switch gear. The shroud and the tang gap is different for different motorcycles, but what I'm being told is that these are early production motorcycles, not final production motorcycles. So when the final line rolls out, Royal Enfield will sort those issues. The third thing that I want to address is that some part of the Scram's ability is to do some kind of off-roading, soft-roading as well. Now, when you stand on the motorcycle, what's happening is the Himalayan has a flat panel right here, but this one has a slight bulge here. So what you want to do is grab the motorcycle with your knees when you stand up, but what's happening here is you're grabbing onto the motorcycle because of that bulge with your calf. So after a long day of trail riding, this part of your body is definitely going to hurt. Last but not the least, the one thing that I missed, and I think it's a missed opportunity for Royal Enfield as well, is the absence of switchable ABS. I understand not having the Himalayan's cluster means not having the button that is used to switch off ABS at the rear for the Himalayan, but not having switchable ABS for a scrambler, why Royal Enfield, why? The only hack here is to remove the fuse from the fuse box, but that will also mean switching off ABS for the front wheel, and unless you're a really skilled rider, I would suggest you avoid doing that. Okay, to sum it up, let's talk about the price. As of now, I do not know what the price of the motorcycle is, but I'm expecting this to be somewhere around the 2 lakh mark, a little below the 2 lakh mark. That would be really sweet. It's definitely a better buy than the Himalayan, and I'll tell you why. Most of the riding that we do is obviously going to be on the road unless you're a nomad and pretty much live outdoor. But for 90% of the on-road usage, this is definitely a better motorcycle to live with, at least in the city. The Himalayan is not a bad motorcycle, but this is better. Also, there are a few things that Royal Enfield can probably work on. Now, when I think of it, where does it put the Himalayan? Well, I don't think people need to worry about that a lot because there is a new Himalayan, a 450cc liquid-cooled engine Himalayan that is on its way. When it's gonna arrive is something that we don't know yet. But for now, this is the story of the Scram. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you did not like it, tell us why in the comment section below. Also, we have a couple of very interesting comparator stories that will come to your screen very soon. One of them is going to be the Scram against the Himalayan, and the second one will be the Scram going up against the Scram from YSD, which is a YSD Scrambler, but this is a Scram 411. Okay, I'm just jumbling up words and mincing them and trying to just talk random rubbish English. But for now, thank you so much for watching. My name is Varun Painter, and I will see you later. कुकड़ू को ओके मेरे दिमाग में कुकड़ू को बैठ गया